In East Africa, growth often crosses borders before it hits the shelves.
I started the business in 1972.
This market remains one cluster.
It's rare to see actually the flow of FDI coming from Uganda into Kenya.
In Uganda, this is the fourth expansion that we have been associated with as a bank.
At Stanbic, we back bold ideas.
The partnership with Stanbic has stabilized this business.
This was a $45 million funding solution.
This has been a landmark cross-border investment.
This is the story of a Ugandan bottler, a Kenyan market, and a bank that helps turn ambition into capacity. 50 years on, a founder's trust becomes an engine.
I started the business in 1972. My beginning was very humble, with a capital of 50,000 Uganda shillings, which I borrowed from the bank. Since then, I have had a good relationship with the bank, and our collaboration is quite good.
For decades, investments flowed from Kenya into Uganda until one deal reversed everything.
Africa is home. We drive our growth.
African growth isn't abstract, it's engineered, one structure at a time.
It's rare to see actually the flow of FDI coming from Uganda into Kenya. So having to support one of our leading clients on the Ugandan franchise, which been a client for about 20 years, and get handed over the Pepsi Cola franchise. So they picked on him and said, listen, come and see if we can grow our market share from a dismal 1% to something more respectable.
From 1% market share to a daring new challenge enabled by a trusted banking partner.
In Kenya, Pepsi only had a 1% market share. In Uganda, it's a complete reverse. Coca-Cola is 40%, Pepsi is close to 60%. So he had already established himself as a player that could demonstrate and bring the Pepsi brand. So when they wanted to really play in this Kenyan market, which is, as you know, is significant, they looked around the continent for somebody they could back. This is Pepsi, the franchise at the group level.
The brief turned 1% into momentum fast.
We actually built and created the structure from scratch to match the client's growth ambitions. And not only that, we had to align our risk team from a structuring perspective, navigate through land regulations to perfect our security in the Kenyan market.
A one-team mindset, aligned coverage, sector heads, legal and risk, keeping the transaction agile as realities evolved.
So it was a whole package, just the capital that we had to provide, which is close to $45 million to get this thing up and going. The Kenyan entity was a startup. So we're going to rely heavily on the balance sheet of the Ugandan entity to make this work.
Finance is the spark. Execution is the flame.
The bespoke funding structure addressed some key considerations such as tenor, the quantum of the facility, the security package, and we structured an accordion feature. And what that does is it allows the client to upsize their facility in the event that they need to increase their funding.
Beyond lending, the bank advised on setup, logistics, and ramp-up, turning a plan into a plant.
So actually, it's perhaps one of the most exciting transactions in this year in the region, what we're looking at. And, we speak about manufacturing as a sector becoming double digit, is to anchor in investment, anchoring in growth, new job opportunities. If you look at tax issues and revenues, the architecture for growth, what this transaction shows is that our convictions to build long-term growth, build business in our market, is part of our DNA as a group.
Scale with responsibility, win with inclusivity.
In Uganda, this is the fourth expansion that we have been associated with as a bank. And why this is important for us is that it helps the company broaden the manufacturing base. It has an impact in terms of contributing more to the fiscus and also in terms of deepening or broadening the employment base of the country.
Beyond lending, partnership, sector depth, and presence where the work happens.
The expansion is very transformative. It actually unlocks access to quality products, a local product, however supported by a global brand. And it aligns with the transformative agenda of the government. It also energizes the ecosystem in Kenya, i.e. the value chain, the suppliers, the distributors, and it also enlarges our regional capability and capacity within the East African region.
As volume scales, so does the ecosystem. Distributors, stockists, wholesalers, suppliers, and jobs.
The site we are standing, we have over 450 staff who are directly employed by us or through our contracted partners. We also have our distributors who currently total around 500. And if you look at that number, we are probably offering indirect employment to another 10,000 Kenyans.
The lesson: banking the ecosystem. Big client, SMEs, staff, suppliers, and growth compounds.
Because we are able to curate that solution in this market and we provided a facility, we now remain as the largest lender for both entities within the market. I also believe that in this area, we start building a new nuance of how do we solve for public sector entities.
Ambition validated by velocity.
Growth isn't just given, it's built. It's one decision, one bold move, one partnership, one deal team, and one client at a time.